Hey YouTube land, Tycondrius here, doing another action figure review. Now today is something that I picked up a while back. I actually picked it up locally at our local kind of toy chain store, which is called Smith's over here in Ireland, which is rare because they haven't really got a lot of these figures in. They've gotten kind of mixed bag of what they have. And this is the Kingdom Come Batman or Armoured Batman from the Kingdom Come comic book, and it's done by McFarlane. Now I don't have the box, but it did come in a box similar to this. This is the Batman from the Flash movie, which I think I did a review of, or haven't done a review of, but will do a review of. Pretty much the same idea box. It's the kind of black, blue and white boxes that McFarlane are familiar with. He does come with only 2 accessories. He comes with a trading card, which has the image that's used on the back of the box on the card, and it has a brief write-up. It's basically, real name Bruce Wayne. On Earth 22, many of the superheroes we know and love have sequestered themselves to their own areas of isolation, plunging the world into a chaotic power struggle amongst metahumans. Bruce Wayne, however, continues to operate in his Batcave, creating a militia of robots to monitor and maintain order in Gotham City. I do actually have a copy of Kingdom Come. I just haven't read it in such a long time, but it does look like the suit that he wears in that. I think he has more than one suit, but it is one of the suits he wears. We also get the good old bog standard McFarlane base with a single peg hole. What's interesting is, because of the suit that he's wearing, which is a flight mode suit, I'm surprised they didn't give one of the flight stand bases for this guy. It would have made more sense, but it is what it is. My guy has a bit of dust on him, which is interesting because I haven't even had him that long. Now, there is some assembly in the box. These wing parts are actually, just take them off. These wing parts are actually separate in the box for his backpack. And you just click them into place, and they just fit in. You just follow the curvature of the wings suit, and they should just click into place. They do articulate, but that is mostly due to the way they're attached. I'm not sure if they're supposed to articulate in the comic. Again, it's been a while since I read the comic, but I know people seem to really like this version of Batman. Bear with me a moment. I'm just going to bring up my camera a small bit. Just adjust it ever so slightly. What I find interesting about this figure is that it actually shares some design elements from another famous robotic police officer, I should say. Most notably, this guy, aka RoboCop. I find that some of the design aspects on this guy kind of seems to translate across. If you look at the shoulders, you can see what I mean about the shoulders. So whoever, I think it was a Greg Capullo did the art for this. I'm not sure who did the artwork for this. I could be completely butchering who did the artwork for Kingdom Come. Now, again, it might be more down to the toy designers or McFarlane's design team, but you can see aspects of how RoboCop's arms kind of look like they integrated into this design. You have that big shoulder piece, you have the similar shoulder piece, you have this kind of bicep sort of part on the shoulder. Even the chest has these very similar, where the pecs are, has this kind of similar look to it, which is quite interesting. The legs not so much, and kind of like the rest of the figure not so much, but like it's just interesting to see how the shoulders look similar. And again, with the back of the figure, the actual jetpack piece of this looks very familiar as well. And if I was to say to you, this looks very similar to the Rocketeer's backpack, I wouldn't be too far off. It has a very similar look to the Rocketeer. If you're not familiar with the Rocketeer, was it Disney originally did it? It was a Disney kind of, I want to say Disney. It was a movie about a guy that finds a prototype jetpack and decides to kind of become a hero, and it's done. It was set in like the 1930s. I want to say 1930s. It's very early 1900s anyway. Or middle 1900s. I want to say 1930s, before around maybe 1930, 1940s, and it has a very kind of, what would be the best description of it? Kind of a very steampunkish kind of style to it, for the suit design at least. The helmet that he wears for Rocketeer is a gold helmet with a kind of fin on it. Has that very kind of 1920s, I can't remember the style, but you know, the kind of similar to like is it Metropolis? That film with the kind of science fiction film with the robot and stuff. And I'm kind of going off kilt here, but it has that look to it. The batsuit itself is quite interesting. His head is very limited on what it can do. I do like the head sculpt. Bring it in there. It is quite a nice Batman head sculpt, although be it limited. He has this giant high neck collar piece. I believe in the story, and I could be wrong, but if I remember correctly, I think the suit actually helps him to actually walk. I think he's been through so many battles that he's, you know, I could be mixing up storylines, but I remember there was one Batman where he actually had to use like a powered suit in order to keep going, because of so much of all the kind of injuries he had taken over the years. It had taken a toll on his body, and he was pretty much like immobilized except for when he's wearing the suit. But it does have all the kind of standard articulation of most of the McFarlane figures, again with the exception of that head, because it's very limited. You can kind of get up, left to right, but the arms do pop out and do rotate. They will be hindered because of this bat symbol. It is a more floppy piece, so it doesn't get in the way too much, but because this entire back piece, it's not removable unless you probably force it to break it off. It isn't designed to be removable. It's glued in place, so it will get in the way of articulation. You won't be able to do a full 360. Unlike some of the other McFarlane figures, he has only the single jointed elbows with a swivel. So you can get a swivel. He does still have the ball joint kind of thing on the arm. Now the only thing is gauntlet, the way the gauntlets are done actually goes over the hand. So again, that makes articulation a little bit more hindered than usual. He does have, for a change, he actually does have ball socket, the tie swivel, which most figures in McFarlane doesn't have. He does have the ratcheting waist piece. He can kick forward. He can kick forward quite a bit, which is quite rare for a McFarlane figure, because usually they have like the larger style diaper crotch thing going on where it kind of does get in the way. He does retain double jointed knees, so again you can actually get into some good poses. He does have the upper waist diaphragm. He doesn't have a lower waist, he just has the upper waist one, and he does have rocker ankles and those kind of side to side, and he does have that toe articulation as well. So he does have some good posability, so you can get him into some good poses. His hands only have fists. He doesn't have any grip hands. Usually McFarlane tend to do like one grip hand and then the other is a fist, but for this particular figure he went all out and just did two fists. Again, from the source material, it's been a while since I read it, so I can't remember off the top of my head if he wore the suit the whole way through that story run, or if it's something he wears near the end of it, kind of for the, you know, if it's for a specific scene or series. But it is a pretty cool design. If I just move Robo out of the way, we'll bring in another Batman. This is more movie Batman from the Ben Affleck Batman from the Justice League movie. So you can see the scale. In fact, speaking of scale, if I have my tape measure around anywhere, I will do a measure, because this guy has quite a big wingspan. So we'll put him in a more neutral standing pose. He is kind of a tall Batman as well. In fact, I think he does stand taller than Affleck, by especially to the points of the ears on the cowl. But even with the backpack, he stands a good bit taller. So to the points of his ears, which are roughly the highest point, I would imagine, so I think the backpack wings might get a little higher. It is around nearly 8 inches. In fact, yeah, if I just center his body mass a bit, I think his wings actually do go up higher than the cowl ears. Let's see if I can just get this down there in a second. I'm going to take measure. Yeah, so highest point would be about 8 inches, and the wingspan is really what will take people's shelf space up. So from wing to wing, it is nearly just over 1 foot, which is 13 inches. So you have that. Overall, he's a pretty cool looking figure. Let's see if I have any other figures I can bring in for scale comparison. Unfortunately, to hand, I don't have too many to hand figures, but we'll bring in Super Shredder because he's over here. So here's Super Shredder compared to this guy. This is the TMNT Secret of the Ooze Super Shredder. And because we have a couple of other figures here, we'll bring in, I can't remember which Predator this is, but it's one of the Dark Horse Predators from NECA. So you can see he nearly stands the same height as one of the Predators, which is kind of interesting because he should be a little bit smaller. And then just for another figure, bring in Mortal Kombat Raiden, which is another McFarlane figure. I'm going to put Super Shredder in behind here. So here is Mortal Kombat Raiden, or Mortal Kombat 11 Raiden, which is, this is the one from the 2-pack. I couldn't get the original version. It was long sold out and really hard to get. So overall, he is a pretty cool looking figure. I wouldn't say he's my favorite Batman sculpt. I've seen other Batman figures that I prefer. I picked this guy up because I just spotted him and I thought he was an interesting take. I wanted to see how he actually looked and how good the articulation was, and it was surprisingly good. And we'll bring in one more DC character because I have him handy. He's standing right next to me. There is the page, not Page Punchers. No, this is the, is it Frost King or whatever the Ice Guy version wave of Black Adam is. So there's a Black Adam figure as well. For see, Batman is obscured by the Predator, so I'm going to control Predator out of the way, just so you can get a good look at, well, there goes everyone. Come on, Shredder. I know you're mad at Turtles, but don't be taking it out in Batman. So, put on Black Adam over here. There we go. There is Batman with the Black Adam figure. All in all, not a bad figure. I wouldn't say, as I said, he's my favorite. He is fairly limited on articulation, especially with the kind of big giant chunk of a backpack he has. But it is a cool design, and it is interesting to see how much he kind of takes from other genres. So it is an interesting figure nonetheless. But overall, he's not too bad. So is he a definite pickup? I'd say I could wait until he was on clearance. Then again, it's personal preference. If you're a fan of the Kingdom Come storyline, you probably will want this guy. But if not, and you're not a diehard, you know, have to collect every Batman figure that McFarlane puts out, then you could probably leave this guy off for something else. Customization wise, he might make a good custom for something. The armor parts could make some sort of interesting custom if you were to do something like maybe for the 40k franchise, if you were to use his body and stuff, take off the backpack, maybe use it to make some sort of Inquisitor, might be an interesting choice. But other than that, it is just as he is. So there you go, guys. I hope you enjoyed this super quick video review. Hopefully it's a super quick video review of the Batman Kingdom Come figure. As always, please feel free to like, comment and subscribe to my channel, and I hope you enjoy your day. Cheers, guys.